And welcome everybody to part 35 of the Pokemon Go walkthrough, where we are going to be taking care of the Dark Cave and route number 45. You're basically going to need Togepi for Flash and also Rattata for Rock Smash. And we are going to be starting over on the... Give me a second here. Okay. We're going to be starting in the Blackthorn City side of it. There are two sides. You got the Blackthorn City side, and then you also have the Violet City side. The Violet City side is the one cave that I showed you guys around one of my earlier parts, around part 4 or 5, and I said I'd be exploring it later because of the fact that there are two entrances to it, all connected into one. Not a really big maze. Real simple to go through, and you know, just overall, really easy cave. It's no trainers. It's mainly just an area to catch more Pokemon and find some more items. So let's get to what the stats are. If you are in the Blackthorn City side, as I am, Zubat, Gold, Silver, Crystal versions, 30% all across the board. Golbat, all 3 versions, 5% all across the board. Geodude, all 3 versions, 30% across the board. Graveler, all 3 versions, 20% all across the board. Gold Silver version only, Wobbuffet 15% all across the board. And then in the Crystal version, the next 4 all in Crystal version, Wobbuffet 15% chance at night only. Teddy Ursa 5% in the morning. Ursaring, I think that's how you pronounce Teddy Ursa's evolved form is Ursaring or Urasing, something like that. 10% in the morning and 15% in the afternoon, no chance at night. While you are surfing, 100% chances you're going to run into a Magikarp. However, while you are fishing... Oh yeah, and there's also that one gentleman that you talk to get the dark glasses. And we're already entering Violet City side, but I'll get to those stats as soon as I can. This is going by a little bit faster than I thought it would. Fishing with the Old Rod, Goldeen, 15% chance. Magikarp, 85% chance. Good Rod, 65% chances of Goldeen, 35% chances of Magikarp. And Super Rod, 70% chances of Goldeen, 10% chances of Seaking, 20% chances of Magikarp. If you go by and do Rock Smash on any of those smashable rocks, Krabby at 90% and Shuckle at 10%. Over on the Violet City side, 39% chance Gold and Silver, it's a Zubat. Crystal version, it's 39% chance. I'm going to say all across the board. It shows only 34 for morning, but that's a little bit too off in my opinion. Violet City, Geodude, 60% chance all across the board in all 3 versions. 1% chances you're going to get a Dunsparce, if you really want to go out of your way to get that. And 5% chance you're going to get a Teddy Ursa in the Crystal version only. So you can get yourself in the Crystal version, a Teddy Ursa very early by going into the Violet City side of the cave in the very beginning. And then all the fishing stats and the Rock Smash stats are exactly the same. There's also chances of swarms. Zubat, 20% chance whenever you get the radio call. Geodude, 40% chance when you get the radio call. And Dunsparce, 40% chance once you get yourself the radio call. Again, the whole entire purpose of this is just to, again, for the 100% sake, getting all the items. And again, mainly just to get some extra Pokemon, especially in the Crystal version, getting a Teddy Ursa or a Ursaring, or again, however the hell you pronounce it. I'm sorry, I'm probably botching the hell out of it, but, you know, I apologize for that. And when you exit out of here, you land into route number 46. However, we are going to fly back up to Blackthorn City in order to do route 45 next. Route 45 forks. It basically branches into 3 separate areas, and we are going to be going through all 3 of them. And as you can see, I forgot to turn on the Super Repel before getting into it. That's completely my bad. Number of trainers to be fighting in here. I think there's a total of 7 trainers. Hiker Perry, the one who has an Onix that we fight near the end of the video, you can get the phone number with. And Black Belt Kenji, the one who has a Machoke, you can get a phone number with. That's one thing I just now realized I haven't been doing recently, is mentioning all the trainers that you can get their phone number of, but that's more of a minor thing. Anyways, going through the stats of what you can get on Johto route number 45. And before I go into that, Pidgeotto, as you will see, is 2 levels higher. I used 2 rare candies on Pidgeotto to reach it up to level 34, giving me the ability of Wing Attack. And yes, he will be transforming into Pidgeot by the end of this video. Yay me, big nostalgia. Pidgeot was the strongest Pokemon that I ever had when I played this game as a kid. The first Pokemon I ever got to reach level 100. And there are just some really strong ties with me and Pidgeot just because of that fact of the nostalgia of using it so much when I was a kid. It did make the game really hard, though, when, you know, you only have one Pokemon that you want to make better than any other type, and that's the only type. When the first time I played this game, it seriously was the only Pokemon I used the whole entire game, other than a couple HMs on some other Pokemon. And, you know, it really made the Elite Four and Red definitely some of the hardest fights I've ever had to do in my entire life of playing Pokemon. Those were some of the most interesting battles I've ever had, and by God, am I not going to do anything like that anymore. Anyways, going on with the stats of Route number 45. All three versions, Geodude, 30% of chance all across the board. Gold version for Graveler, 40% chance all across the board. Silver version, 55% chance all across the board. Crystal version, 30% chance morning, afternoon, and 50% chance at night. Gligar, Gold version, it's only in the Gold version, Gold and Crystal version, apologies, 20% chance all across the board. And again, Gold version only, Teddiursa, 10% chance all across the board. Silver version only, Skarmory, 5% chance all across the board. Crystal version chance, 5% in the morning, afternoon, no chance at night. And Fanfy, Silver version only, 10% chance all across the board. Crystal version, 5% in the morning, no chance afternoon and night. And a Donphan, 10% chance in the morning, 15% chance in the afternoon. I find that a little bit strange with the evolved version of Fanfy. You have a greater chance of catching in the Crystal version than the normal, than getting yourself a Fanfy, but you know, that's whatever. But yes, those are some other ones that are only available to certain types. Gold version having Gligar and Teddiursa, and Silver version getting Skarmory and Fanfy. There is a little pond that you can go surfing in. There's actually a hidden item in it that I will be showing off. Magikarp, 100% all across the board. While fishing, Old Rod, 100% chance you're going to get a Magikarp. Good Rod, 90% chance it's a Magikarp, 10% chance it's a Dratini, and with the Super Rod, 60% chance it's a Magikarp, 30% chance it's a Dratini, and 10% chance it's a Dragonair. That's a really good area to try and get yourself a Dratini before facing off the Elite Four. Most people would probably try and get one through the lottery in Goldenrod City. However, for those of you who do not know, winning and buying a Pokemon is a lot harder to raise than just capturing one yourself. In fact, I think the amount of experience this get is cut in half, and that the only way to get a Pokemon that you have bought off of, you know, through gambling, I know, right? The only way to get them back, you know, if you trade them with another player, it'll jump up to only being able to give it its normal experience. So better chance, you know, there's a better chance for you to try and go ahead and fish one out. You'll get it at level 10, which is a really good level to start off with the Dratini, and just go from there. A lot, like I said, you know, getting it at Goldenrod City by gambling for one, you'll get it a lot earlier, but it is so much slower to raise. You might as well just try and catch one in, you know, in the waters over here. But again, because this area forks into 3 separate areas, basically I go right through it, fight all the trainers along the way, fly back up to Blackthorn City, and repeat the process. Again, being quicker every single time, less trainers to go against, less items to get, and again, because of that I'm using the Max Repel, there's less wild to run into. Will not be going over Route 46 just yet. That's going to be for the next video. In fact, I'm kind of surprised that I let this video go on as long as I did. It's about a good 18 minutes. But again, majority of it is all within, you know, going through route number 45 and taking on all the trainers. But then after this, we're going to be going over route number 46, and then we will finally be taking on our journey over into the Kanto region to finally take on the Elite Four. I've been postponing it long enough as it is. And obviously it's not an attempt to try and get my Pokemon stronger. My Pokemon are pretty decently leveled for going against the Elite Four. The thing about the Elite Four, you know, they'll usually have high 30s throughout all the 40s and even a level 50 when you hit Lance. But a lot of it, you know, again, it's mainly based on types. You know, if you have a good advantage, you know, like going against Lance, I have Lapras with Ice Beam. That's a really good matchup. Lapras is going to be slower than other dragon types, but its defense is high enough to the point where it can take the hit and then dish out the ice attack right back. And like I said, the only dragon type we have is basically Dratini, Dragonair, and Dragonite. And Dragonite is both a dragon and a flying, so ice type is ×4 effective, so it's basically going to be a one-hit kill. That's the main thing, when it comes to this game, especially, to any kind of Pokemon game, but when it comes to the Elite Four, it doesn't really matter how much lower your level is compared to your opponent. If you can match it up right with what you're going against, and you have, the right ability that can do the maximum amount of damage against them, you will win. It's as simple as that. Kind of like when I had Pidgeotto and all I had, I leveled them up to a Pidgeot, and that's all I used in the gold version. Obviously, I didn't have exactly the greatest matchup. Having a level 45 Pidgey try and take on all 6 of Lance's Pokemon is definitely not a walk in the park. I believe it actually took me about a good 4 to 6 attempts to finally beat him. And I don't even want to mention how long it took for me to beat Red. I don't even think I could count the number of times that I had to retry and face him continuously just to finally beat him once, because I tried doing the whole entire game with one Pokemon. And I can't even really say what it is about what made me want to have just Pidgeot. It could be because Pidgey caught it at level 2, raised it, and then just kind of kept going with it. I can't exactly say what it is, but there's just something about Pidgey when I was a kid that, really made me want to have one, and just only train it. I mean, I also had, Cyndaquil that I started out with. But for whatever reason, I just remember that with the Cyndaquil, I would usually throw it in the daycare center, get it back when it was a Typhlosion at like level 30 or so. But even then, I would barely use him. I can't even remember the other Pokemon that I tried using when I was a kid. But again, a lot of it is because of the fact that I was a kid. Didn't really know too much about it. We didn't have the internet. I didn't know what Pokemon was good or wasn't good. Something about Pidgey just screamed powerful to me as a kid, especially its upgraded versions into Pidgeot. And it might have been the fact that the very first, because again, Generation 2 was the first gen, Pokemon Gold is the very first Pokemon I ever played. Played fully. I played Pokemon Blue, I played Pokemon Red, but I never fully got invested until I played Gold when my friend Code Black, James, gave it to me when we were kids. And I guess it has to do with the fact that when I went against the gym leader Falconer and just seeing what Pidgeotto looked like, and I think Pidgeotto really gave me a hard time when I played this game, and just seeing that, I guess it just, as a kid, it really impressed me on how good Pidgeotto was, because again, I was first playing the game, I went straight to the gym as soon as I could, very underleveled, got my ass kicked by Pidgeotto, I can admit to that. It should be an easy fight, but again, because I was a kid, and I was always in a rush to beat games and just go straight to the gym before doing anything else. Didn't do the Bellsprout Tower, didn't do any kind of grinding, just went straight to the gym at probably like level 7 each, got my ass kicked by Pidgeotto, and just seeing how cool it looked as a kid and how badly it kicked the shit out of me as a kid, I just thought to myself, man, I'm glad I got me a Pidgey and I'm going to stick with it and get it as powerful as I possibly can. That's what was probably going through my head as a kid. And those little things, maybe that's what was going through my head as a kid. When I first played this game, I want to say I was around 9 or so when my friend introduced me to it because he had the silver version. It was right around the time when he moved into his new house because they moved from Utah right when I was moving out of the countryside of where I was living, only about 3 doors down. And he introduced me to Pokemon Gold. And I guess it was mainly, the better looking of the sprites, the fact that it was now in color, really impressed me to where it kind of got me hooked. But again, this is like when I was around 9 years old. I do not exactly remember why it was that Pidgeotto, why even just a regular Pidgey, impressed me so much that it made me only want to use just that. Cannot say, but that's just the way it happened. Another thing to give to you, my subscribers, a little bit ahead of time. For one thing, I'm being even more impressed that I'm constantly being found on YouTube. In my terms of being found, I'm at like 217 subscribers. It feels like just a week ago I just hit 200, and now I'm already up another 17. Again, that's a very impressive, for a guy like me that, is just doing this as a little fun thing. But for those of you who are subscribed, watching this right now, especially those of you who enjoyed watching me and Code Black doing like Dragon Ball Z Budokai, be prepared. Tomorrow, I will be heading back up to my hometown of Cody for about a 10-day vacation, one that's really been I've been needing for a while now. And because me and him are going to be reunited, you can guarantee that means there's going to be a lot of games going on. And that was a really weird transition. I'm going to fix the transition, but for me, you guys won't see it. You know how I usually do the scatter out with Windows Movie Maker when doing the Pokemon. You know, I do the scatter out transition. That didn't happen within my watching of this, so I got to get that fixed. But anyways, we're going to be reunited, and we got a lot of stuff coming up. You know, there's an idea of mine that a lot of other Let's Players have done that I'm going to kind of roll with on my channel and do with Code Black once I, am reunited with him. You guys will see it probably won't be for about another month till I start uploading what happens. Because let me guys give you a little bit of a thing here, because I'm also doing BioShock Infinite, and to be honest, that game has really been pissing me off lately. I'm just not really enjoying it. So I think I'm going to be having another 5 uploads for BioShock Infinite, and after that I need a break from BioShock Infinite of uploading it. Or maybe when I hit number 20, I don't know. I'm going to have to figure out exactly what all me and Code Black are going to do. But around that time, I'm going to take a break from BioShock Infinite and start uploading other videos. One of them being what me and Code Black are going to be doing. And I'm just going to let you guys know we are, period. I know you're watching this, Code Black. We are going to do Budokai 2. It's been delayed way too long, and we got to go out of our way to do it. So you heard it here, folks. After I hit to the point where BioShock, I feel like I've uploaded enough and it's time for me to take a break, I'm going to start uploading Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 when me and Code Black finally get that recording done. Alright, it is going to happen. Me and him have put it on the back burner for far too long, and it's not going to, it's been about a year and a half since we did Budokai, and it's well overdue for us to finally do Budokai 2, so be prepared for that, because it is going to be coming. So there's your little insight of, to that. And again, there's going to be more projects that me and him are going to be working on while we're down over there. But that one's it's probably going to be a while till that one gets implemented in. Actually, it's going to get implemented in around the exact same time I start doing Budokai 2. And I'll, once it hits, you guys will see what it is. It's just a fun little thing that I've kind of been wanting to do for a while. And like I said, a lot of other Let's Players have done exactly the same thing as this. It's not like I'm starting anything new, but it's something that I've just been wanting to do for a while now. And I feel like we have enough games to finally do it. And, you guys will be seeing that. Like I said, I don't know how many more uploads of BioShock Infinite I'll do. It'll probably be about another... I think I'm on 17 right now, so I might try and stop it at 20, maybe 25. So it depends on that. So it might be another 2 weeks to a month till I start uploading Budokai 2. Once we do get it done, we will get it done. And then with the new idea of mine that we're going to be going along with. But until then, that is the end of Pokemon Gold. Hope you guys enjoyed it as always. And I will see you guys next time.